Hello, buddies! How are you all? Hope you're all fine and safe. In the previous video, we have discussed about the types of habitats and adaptation, different types of terrestrial habitats, biotic and abiotic components. Now, let us go in detail and explore this world of habitats. We'll first start with deserts. There are desert animals like rats and snakes which do not have long legs that camel has. So as in the picture, you can see that the camel has long legs. But the animals do not have long legs. So such type of animals live in burrows. So to stay away from the intense heat during the day, they stay in these burrows deep inside the sand. These animals come out only during the night when it is cooler. Now let us learn how plants are adapted to survive in these desert conditions. So as you can see, these are the various types of desert plants, right? These desert plants lose very little amount of water through transpiration. The leaves in desert plants are either absent, very small, or they are in the form of spines. These help in reducing loss of water from the leaves through transpiration. So what is transpiration first? Transpiration is the removal of excess water from the leaves of the plant. That is, through the stomata, the excess water gets evaporated into the air. This process is known as transpiration. The leaf-like structure you can see in a cactus, see like this or this, is in fact its stem. Photosynthesis in these plants is usually carried out by the stems. The stem is also covered with a thick waxy layer which helps to retain water in the tissues of cacti. Also, most desert plants have roots that go very deep into the soil for absorbing water. So as you can see here, see the roots are very long. They penetrate into the soil to absorb the water, because in desert plants, in desert regions, you can see that the water is too low, right? So in order to reach that water, these roots grow very longer. And also in some plants, you can see that the roots grow horizontally in this way. So as you can see here, the roots have grown in horizontal way. Now let us understand each point very clearly. The waxy layer covering fleshy leaves to help store water. So see, this is an aloe vera plant, right? So in an aloe vera plant, see this coating, this is the whole waxy layer of this aloe vera plant. What are these thorns and what are these? Usually stems have leaves. So these, see, you can see here, these tiny spines are the leaves. So the leaves have modified into these tiny spines, and this long green strands or broad structures are the stems of this aloe vera plant. Also, long vertical roots growing deep into the soil to reach the water table. So see here, the roots have grown vertically downwards in order to reach this water. Whereas in this plant, the roots have grown horizontally. Roots growing horizontally in the top layers of the soil to collect surface water. So the roots would identify the water and they grow along that direction. Prickles and spikes on stem to protect against thirsty animals. So in deserts, we know that water is too less. And also in order to reduce the amount of transpiration, these leaves have modified into prickles and spines. Then, if any animal comes and eats away these plants in order to get away from their thirsty, then how would the plants live? There would be no plant living, right? So prickles and spikes protect these plants against thirsty animals. Now let's move on. See here you can see the water. The water is not stored in the form of liquid. It is converted into some jelly-like substance. Now coming to the mountain regions. These mountain regions are normally very cold and windy. In some areas, snowfall may take place in winters. There is a large variety of plants and animals living in these mountain regions. Then, how are these trees adapted to conditions prevailing in their habitat? Because in normal grasslands or wherever you see, near your house or somewhere else, the trees usually are like this. The trees usually grow like this. They are in this kind of shape, but they don't grow in this kind of shape, right? But in these mountain regions, the plants grow in cone-shaped structures. See, they grow in cone-shaped kind of structures. Let us see why. These trees are normally cone-shaped and have sloping branches. So why they do have sloping branches? The leaves of some of these trees are needle-like. This helps the rainwater and snow to slide off easily. So already we have learned that in some areas snowfall may take place. So in order that the snow doesn't remain on these leaves, they are slightly bent or they are in the cone-like structure. There could be trees with shapes with very different from these that are also present on mountains. They may have different kind of adaptations to survive on the mountains. Yes, so these leaves are also modified. Usually leaves would be in this structure, but here the leaves are like this. See, they are like this. They have needle-like structures. They are needle-like structures. Now let us go to the animals living in these mountain regions. So see here you can see the mountain goat. This is mountain goat. Animals living in the mountain regions are also adapted to the conditions there. They have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold. For example, yaks have long hair to keep them warm. Snow leopards has thick fur on its body. So maybe if you think this mountain goat is also adapted to this kind of mountain regions. So here you can see that these are all the snow covered mountain regions. So this mountain goat also has to adapt to its surroundings. So this mountain goat would be very different from the kinds of goat we find in our native places. This mountain goat has thick fur to protect it from the cold weather or the cold environment. Also, to keep itself warm, this mountain goat has developed thick fur on its body. And this fur is also protected from the feet. So this thick fur also covers the legs of the animals. This protects its feet from the cold when it walks on the snow. The mountain goat has strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes of the mountains. So hooves means the parts of legs. Right? They are so strong to support it for running up the rocky slopes of the mountains. Now let us go to the grasslands. See, this is mountain cheetah. It's mountain cheetah. Yes. Now let us discuss about the animals and their adaptations in grasslands. Let us take the example of this lion. Now, a lion always and mostly lives in a forest or a grassland. And it is a very strong animal that can hunt and kill animals like deer. To know some more about its adaptations, it is light brown in color. See, it is light brownish golden in color so that it can hide in this grass. Lions also have long claws in their front legs that can be withdrawn inside the toes. So they can just open and close their claws. If they want, they will just open up their claws, and if they have to just relax, then they will just withdraw the toes inside. Their claws inside the toes. And its light brown color helps it to hide in dry grasslands when it hunts for prey. The eyes in front of the face allow it to have a correct idea about the location of the prey. So this is another important adaptation of lion. Lion always has its eyes in front of the face. Lion always has its eyes in front of its face so that it can easily identify the prey and attack it, because that's its food. Now let us see about the deer. A deer is another animal that lives in forests and grasslands. It has strong teeth for chewing hard plant stems of the forest. A deer needs to know about the presence of predators, animals like lion that make it their prey, in order to run away from them and not become their prey. This deer has its eyes on either side of its face. See, this is one side of the face and the other eye is on the another side of the face. Why is it so? Because the deer needs to know about the presence of its predators. Maybe if it has its eyes in front of the face, it cannot identify it from all the directions. So in order to identify its predators, the deer has adapted this feature. Also, this deer has long ears to hear the movements of predators. The eyes on the side of its head allow it to look in all the directions for danger. The speed of the deer helps them to run away from the predators. There are many other features of a lion, a deer, or other animals and plants that help them to survive in their habitats. Yes, now let us see and take a quick journey at some of the aquatic habitats. Let us begin with oceans. So in the previous video we have already discussed how fish are adapted to live in the sea. Many other sea animals have streamlined bodies to help themselves move easily in water. There are some sea animals like squids and octopus which do not have this streamlined shape. So as you can see in the picture, the squids do not have a streamlined shape. Streamlined shape is this. This curved feature is known as the streamlined shape. This is known as the streamlined shape. As you can see, this shape is known as the streamlined shape. And these sea animals are called squids. These sea animals are called squids. And also octopus. All of us know this octopus, right? How many legs does an octopus have? Do let me in the comment section below. So octopus and this squids do not have streamlined shape. So they stay deeper in the ocean near the seabed and catch any prey that moves towards them. However, when they move in water, they make their bodies' shapes streamlined. These animals have gills to help them use the oxygen which is dissolved in the water. So already we have discussed that this oxygen is present in the water. See, oxygen molecules are present all over here in the water. So to help them absorb this dissolved oxygen, these sea animals, maybe this octopus and the squids, have gills to help them absorb this oxygen. And there are some sea animals like dolphins and whales that do not have gills. So they should have some other alternative, right? Yes, they have adapted a special feature. They breathe in air through the nostrils or the blowholes that are located on the upper parts of their heads. This allows them to breathe in air when they swim near the surface of water. So you must have watched on the television channels or in some shows that the dolphin show, the dolphins come up above, rise and then again dive into the water. Yes, during this period of time, the dolphins actually absorb the amount of oxygen present in this air. So as we human beings have, dolphins also have lungs to help them breathe in oxygen. So as they come up to the surface of water, they can stay inside the water for a long time without breathing. They come out to the surface from time to time to breathe in air. Yes, now let's move on to the next topic, about the ponds and lakes and the plants living in it. Um, have you ever went on a field trip to a nearby pond? If yes, do let me in the comment section below. So when you observe, some of the plants may float on this water. You may also observe some green patchy layers on the surface of the water, but those are the algae, that is the microorganism, the algae which is surviving on some other microorganism. So those are not exactly plants, but that algae also would practice the photosynthesis, but that is not exactly a plant. Some of the plants have their roots fixed in the soil below the water. So some have their roots fixed here below the water, as you can see. In terrestrial plants, roots normally play a very important role in the absorption of nutrients and water from the soil. However, in aquatic plants, roots are much reduced in size and their main function is to hold the plant in place. So in terrestrial plants, the major function of these roots is to absorb the water. So in these water plants, already they are covered with water. So what is the main function of these roots? To not let the plants go away with the water. So they help the plants to hold in its place. The stems of these plants are long, hollow and light. The stems grow up to the surface of the water while the leaves, look here, the leaves and flowers float on the surface of the water. And some aquatic plants are submerged into the water as shown in the image right now here. All parts of such plants are under the water. Maybe it is leaves, flowers, fruits, roots, anything, all are submerged in the water. Some of these plants have narrow and thin ribbon-like leaves. So as you can see here, these leaves are not like normal leaves. They are some kind of ribbon-like structure. They are in this way. Not exactly ribbon, but they are in ribbon-like structure. These can bend in the flowing water. In some submerged plants, leaves are often highly divided, through which the water can easily flow without damaging them. The plants are highly adapted, that is, the leaves are highly divided to allow the water to pass through it, or else the leaves will flow along the water and the plant would die. So in order to protect itself, the plant has adapted to its surrounding. It is highly divided to allow the water to flow through it. Now, frogs. Okay, frogs usually live in water. Frogs can stay both inside the water as well as move on land. They have strong back legs that help in leaping and catching the prey. So these are the back legs of this frog. They have webbed feet which help them swim in water. So in order to leap, they have very strong back legs. Whereas to swim in the water, these frogs have webbed feet which help them to swim easily in the water. Now we have discussed we have went through a special journey through the terrestrial habitats, that is deserts, then mountain regions, grasslands, and also we have learned about the oceans. We have learned about the ponds and lakes. Yes, so we have learned about all these regions in detail. Now let us learn about the different characteristics of organisms in the next video. And please give thumbs up, do share it with your friends, and please subscribe to ABC Learning and hit the bell icon beside it. Thank you all.